All of us, irrespective of our age, we like to read and hear stories. And our next artist is extremely good at telling stories. The title of this program is Cast Off All Shame. Cast, not caste system, but casting off all shame. She takes us through a journey of a radio jockey who is speaking with a wide spectrum of women who open up to her, to their situations and their emotions, and the story weaves through the songs that they request for. The stage is all yours, Ulka Mayur.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. And I think I should just begin now. Yeah.
Arjanitya is down with UTI, urinary tract infection. But I don't know why she was embarrassed talking about it, so she wrote a mail to her boss saying that she's down with fever. Now boss is in Goa enjoying. Obviously he has not read her mail, so he did not find a replacement for her. Now you know that in this business, anything can go wrong, but the show must go on. And if the show gets cancelled, heads would roll. And I can't see people in trouble. I am not some god that I can be everywhere helping people. But spirit हूँ, तो जो भी area में हूँ वहाँ तो लोगों को help कर ही सकती हूँ ना. And because I'm a spirit, I learned to talk like an RJ and handle all the equipment so fast. But I know कि मैं spirit हूँ, उतना कहने से बात नहीं चलने वाली. आप लोग थोड़ी ना मानोगे. I will have to give you proper introduction, right? तो माझा नाव जनाबाई आहे. जनाबाई नाम तो सुना होगा, नहीं? Nickname Zan. Age, technically I belong to 14th century, so you can do the math. Residence Maharashtra. Occupation a housemaid by profession and a bhakti poet by hobby. अब मैं भक्ति पोएट्री कहूंगी तो आपको तो हमारे भक्ति पोएट्री के पोस्टर बॉय कबीर याद आएंगे. मीराबाई भी. See, I am not so popular, huh? But it's okay. My popularity might not be immense, but my devotion was no less. And by me, we all bhakti poets, whether we belong to this area or that area, whether we wrote bhajan, abhang, doha, man, woman, we all were completely devoted to God. And the moment you talk about God, you know how things can become dicey, especially in the Middle Ages. You know, because the situation that time was horrible. उस टाइम पंडितों का मंदिरों पे राज था. कर्मकांड से चलता समाज था. पंडितों के सामने भगवान की भी ना चलती थी. इससे वुमन या अछूतों की जान भी चलती थी. विमेन को ना कर्मकांड की परमिशन थी, अछूतों को ना मंदिरों में एंट्री थी. So we were thinking, what would we do? हाँ, मंदिरों के चक्कर sawing, waiting, praying to pandits. ऐसे टाइम में something new happened. Something happened which changed the dynamics. कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि अब हमारे लिए एक revolution है, भक्ति पोएट्री. You know how it felt? Like you are in a dark ocean on a moonless night. You don't know where to go. Your ship is lost, and suddenly, if you spot a north star, you get a direction. Like that, bhakti poetry gave us a direction. So now we no more needed those agents, you know, those pandits and all that. Now Shiva se, Krishna se, हमारा direct connection. It was no less a revolution than 5G. जितना chat करना है उतना chat कर लो. All data free, all roaming free. दिल से दिल का connection. My God, my way of worship. And that is why now God was no more a celebrity sitting in the temple. God as a being. X3, or I call her Vithabai, and I see her everywhere. I eat God, I drink God, I sleep on God, I see God everywhere. I give God, I take God, I deal with God all the times. God is here, God is there. No place is empty of God.
Anyways, I didn't call you to talk about this. Actually, why I called you now was because a month ago, na, my mummy, I and my cousin, we went to the Vaishno Devi temple. Chalo bulawa aaya hai, Mata ne bulaya hai, Jai Mata Di. But this was not a Vaishno Devi temple in Kashmir. It was a Vaishno Devi temple on Ahmedabad highway. It's mini replica. The moment we went inside the temple, in the premise of the temple, I realized that I had started chumming. Now, luckily, I had a pad with me, so I did the needful. फिर सोचा मंदिर में ना जाऊं. But then I realized that my cousin was going inside the temple, and my cousin had these big boils all over his body, and that too contagious ones. Then I thought, यार, मेरे period तो किसी को infection नहीं देने वाले ना, why can't I go? So when I went inside the temple, now this temple has all these tunnels and caves, just like the original Vaishno Devi temple, but very sweaty and stuffy. So we all went inside this cave, one of the tunnel. Now this tunnel is so small that no two people can walk together. Not only that, they are so short that you can't even walk through it. You have to crawl through it. So there goes my cousin, brushing his boils all over the floor. I'm sure 4 people must have got boils the next day. After me is my cousin. After my cousin, it's me crawling. After me is my mummy. Now, did I tell you that my mummy has a nose of a sniffer dog? She smelt it. And she went all bonkers. Pachi chal, nahi mummy, nahi. Pachi chal, nahi mummy, nahi. Pachi chal. No, mummy, please, mummy, please. Everybody's staring, mummy, please, mummy. This is so embarrassing, mummy, please. People kept on making fun of me, abusing me, cursing me. लेकिन मम्मी ने मेरी एक नहीं सुनी. Kept on saying no, but मम्मी बोलती रही कि तूने पाप किया है, you have sinned, तो कर पश्चाताप. मम्मी ने कहा शपथ लेनी पड़ेगी, you have to take a vow. तो मैंने शपथ ली. When I'm chumming, I will not touch a tulsi plant, be around when pickle is being made, and will never, ever enter a temple.
If menstruation be impure, tell me, who was not born of that blood? This blood of mine fertilizes the world. That's why I praise only Panduranga, who lives in every body, pure, impure.
वो क्या था, बचपन से माँ का हाथ का खाना मेरी वीकनेस था. And my ma also in this matter ना typical Indian mother. बच्चे के दिमाग में क्या चल रहा है उनसे उनको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, लेकिन बच्चे के पेट में क्या जा रहा है उस पर उनकी लाइफ डिपेंडेंट है. तो मेरी माँ बेटा जी खा लो, बेटा जी खा लो, खाते पीते घर के तो दिखने चाहिए ना. अब माते को क्या पता, खाते पीते देखेंगे तो आते जाते देखेंगे कैसे. और आते जाते को तो देखना जरूरी था, इसीलिए सुनीता चाची put me on a diet. That diet included having nothing but air. And then somehow I started shrinking. I mean, not so much patli kamariya and all that, but yeah, quite reasonable. And then Sunita Chachi brought a proposal of Sarthak. Ooh la la! Sarthak, the moment I saw him, I was like, ooh. And immediately I said yes. And Sarthak also said no. Sunita Chachi and was like, how is it possible? Because now I look quite fine. Sunita Chachi said, we will have to go to the root of this matter. And she did go to the root of the matter and come up with the explanation. Satyanash bhabhi, Sarthak ko lagta hai कि हमारी देवी का नाक बहुत बड़ा है. And as if this did not explain things properly, she had to specify it further. वो बनवारी लाल नहीं है, उनके समोसे जैसा, बनवारी लाल के समोसे जैसा. अब what to do with this nose? On that, Sunita Chachi said, सत्यानाश भाभी, आप पेपर नहीं पढ़ती? भाई राखी सावंत ने कहा है, जो भगवान नहीं देता वो डॉक्टर दे देता है. So we went to the doctor. The moment doctor set her eyes on me, she said, you are perfect. Oh, thank God, somebody found me perfect. But you need to change. You need to change everything. Your nose, your lips, your boob. इस पे मेरी माँ ने कहा, डॉक्टर जी आपको जो करना है करिए, लेकिन इस साल ना इस लड़की को घर से बाहर निकालना है मुझे. तो मुझे भी कहाँ रहना था उनके साथ. Who wanted to stay there with them? So then doctor gave me a surgical makeover, complete new me. Rhinoplasty, Botox, silicone implant. Now Sarthak came to see me again. I said yes. And Sarthak, tak tak, he said yes, yes, yes. And today was the wedding day. And I looked perfect. एक filter और perfect. And then Sarthak is, I'm waiting for Sarthak to arrive. But before that, Sunita Chachi came. Satyanash bhabhi, Sarthak bhag gaya. Sarthak had run away from the wedding, had run away from Bareilly, leaving me at the altar. कुछ समझ ही नहीं आया. मतलब मैं तो परफेक्ट लग रही थी ना अब तो. I just didn't get it कि how is that possible? इतना रोना आ रहा था, पूरा eyeliner smudge हो रहे थे, पता है? समझ ही नहीं आ रहा था. I just kept on wondering why. सारी भक्ति कविताओं जो हैं, बाकी की सारी भक्ति कवियों की कविताओं को मंदिरों में गाया गया, म्यूजिक में ढाला गया. अम्मयार एक ऐसी कवि है जिसकी पोएम को ना तो मंदिरों में गाया गया, ना तो म्यूजिक में ढाला गया. But I like her pride. I like her comfort. I like her spirit. And I do hope that Devi, you too get that pride and that comfort. With that, I read out this poem by Ammayar. Shriveled breast, Sukhistan, shriveled breast and swollen veins, protruding eyes, cavities in place of white teeth. With ruddy hair on her belly, a pair of fangs, knobby ankles and long shins. The demon woman lingers, weeps and wails and wanders aimless in the desolate forest. Even today, women can't walk, loiter around without a purpose. In those days, Ammayar goes on and writes that wo bhatakti hai, akaran bhatakti hai, wanders aimless in the desolate forest. From here, the poem takes a spiritual form. Here, Shiva dances his cosmic dance, holding fire but cool of limbs, his matted hair blowing in all 8 directions, this forest, this crematorium, this sacred Alankandu, the sacred Banyan forest, is the home of our Supreme Lord.
If I could get at the Brahma that yoked this deer to this dry log of men, I would wring his four necks and fling his four heads to go the same way that the fifth went before.
But before I tell you about this poet or this poem, let me begin from the beginning. और अगर हम beginning की बात करें तो Brahma, the Supreme Lord. So Brahma created the first woman known as Satarupa. And then Brahma was so besotted by her beauty that Brahma wanted to stare at her always. चाहे वो कहाँ भी जाए, कहीं भी जाए, Brahma wanted to stare at her. And so that he could stare at her, he gave himself a second head, a third head, a fourth head. Irritated by this constant staring, Satrupa rose skywards. And then Brahma gave himself a fifth head. Now Shiva by now was really fed up of this, and he chopped off Brahma's fifth head. This poem refers to that story. When the poet sees a simple, docile, deer-like woman married to this dry log of a man, the man who abuses her, who flogs her, the poet says, यदि हाथ लगे वो ब्रह्मा, यदि हाथ लगे वो ब्रह्मा जिसने बांधा इस भोली मृग्या को इस सूखे खूंटे से, तो मैं चार शीश ब्रह्मा के, तो मैं चार शीश उसके पकड़ के, उसके निचोड़ के चार दिशा में ऐसे झोंकूं जैसा पांचवा शिव ने झोंका था और आज तक नहीं मिला. This poet was Avvayar, a poet from Tamil Nadu. And in Tamil Nadu, Avvayar's maxims are very popular, not only in women but in men too. The thing about Avvayar is that in her poems she supports men and women both. So basically there are poems after poems in which she advises women to do their duties towards men properly, but then there are other poems where she advises women to do their duties towards women properly. The thing about Avvayar is that she is a woman of opinions and she is not scared of sharing them anywhere. Once in the court of the Chola king, she started defending someone, and at that point the king was very angry and he said, stay put woman, this is politics. At that, Avvayar refused to be silenced. She still went ahead and gave her opinions. And like you, Avvayar was also a fearless wanderer. But while Ambika, you chose things like mixed martial art training and face reading and etc., Avvayar chose old age. The same old story of lewd eyes and lustful remarks. So to get rid of them, so that she can wander fearlessly, aimlessly, without bothering, she asked for a boon. Again, एक ऐसा वरदान जो आपको श्राप जैसा लगेगा. She asked for a boon that her youth should be taken away, that she should be transformed into an old woman. And thus, transformed into an old woman with silver flowing hair, she wandered up and down the land alone, even at night, without bothering about anyone, without scared of anyone, whether the kings or the animals or the spirits. The thing is that, Ambika, don't let anything break your spirit. Nothing should hold you back. As we come to the end of this show, I would like to tell all my listeners that it is not about stripping the clothing. It is about stripping off the inhibitions. It is about stripping off all shame. Feel free. Empower yourself. Liberate. Let's sing and dance in ecstasy.